Hello friends, this is Raman Gill with your weekly Forex market analysis for the week of February 20th, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is risky, so if you have questions about your individual trading needs, I recommend you talk to your investment advisor. Let's start off by looking at our economic calendar for this week. To start the week off here, we had PPI number, which are the production numbers out of New Zealand, which came in line with expectations. Moving on to Monday here, we don't have much. It's a holiday in the US, and in the evening here, we have monetary policy meeting minutes out of Australia. Now, these are important because even though we know that they're not changing their interest rates, however, it is important for the market to know what the central bank is thinking, where they're going with their monetary policy. So it would shed some light on the direction of Australian dollar going forward. And then on to Tuesday here, we have PMI numbers out of the Eurozone, which are again important because these are leading indicators. We also have inflation report hearings for the British pound and GDT price index, which is the dairy prices for New Zealand. So this will be important. And then we have RBA Governor Lau speaking, again very important for Australian dollar. We have seen Australian dollar go up quite a bit, and out of New Zealand we saw caution from the central bank because they thought that the currency was too expensive. So this will be interesting to see if Australia feels the same way. Going into Wednesday here, we have GDP numbers for the British pound and then core retail sales for Canadian dollar. And then we have some FOMC members speaking, but very important here, FOMC meeting minutes. This will be a very important. Market will be looking to these meeting minutes to see whether the Fed is on track to raise interest rates or when they are planning to do the first hike for this year. We heard that Yellen testify in front of Congress that the Fed was still going to raise interest rates potentially this year, and we are on track for some interest rate hikes this year. So this will shed some light on when those interest rate hikes might be coming. And as a result, could have a big impact on the US dollar. And then Australia, again, we have private capital expenditures, which is again red news for Australia. Here, a lot of important news coming out for Australia this week. On Thursday, we have unemployment claims number for the US, and then crude oil inventories, and finally we have RBA Governor Lau speaking once again. So Australian dollar is definitely in the forefront this week. We have CPI numbers out of Canada on Friday, and then new home sales and revised consumer sentiment numbers out of the US. Moving on to our commitment of traders data here, looking at Euro US dollar, we have seen a slight downtick increase in shorts for the euro here. We have gone from 86,582 shorts to about 90,036. So not a big dip down, but nonetheless an increase in the shorts. So this is bearish for euro. Looking at the British pound here, we see the levels remaining quite flat here. We have gone from 53,715 for the leverage money positions to 52,636. So fairly flat here, no big change in the leverage money position. So as a result, this is neutral for the British pound. Looking at dollar CAD here, we are seeing an uptick. So the long positions are increasing. We did see this crossover from negative to positive here. So now we are seeing long positions increasing. Last week we had 13,877 long positions in CAD, and now we're looking at 19,992. So this is definitely an uptick in the Canadian dollar. So this means that a dollar CAD here will be negative. So looking at short in dollar CAD. For Aussie US dollar here, we are looking at an increase in the long positions. We have gone from 32,872 long position to 40,000 long positions. So this is definitely bullish for Australian dollar. Okay, looking at New Zealand US dollar here, again a big move up for long positions. We have gone from 26,000 long positions for leveraged money to 30,000, so that's 10,000 increase in long positions for leveraged money. This looks bullish for New Zealand dollar. Let's move on to the charts here. We are looking at Euro US dollar weekly candle. This weekly candle looks quite neutral. So we did have a push down to lower level, this support and resistance level here to a 105.20 level, but then the price had pushed back up. Now we are right in the middle of the range here. So at this point, we are looking for price to come out of this range. So this is very neutral. Right now we're looking for price to come out of the range, and our target to the downside here is 105.20. And if that breaks down, this support and resistance right here that we have been seeing for last quite some time here, if the price breaks down below 105.20, the next target we are looking at is a 103.80. So it opens up all this room for the move lower. However, if the price moves above a 106.90 level here, this opens up the up move here to 108.20. So those are the targets. So right now we'll treat this as a range bound between 106.90 and a 105.20 level. If the price breaks out of this range to either side, we would be looking to go long above 106.90 or looking to go short below 106.20. At this moment, we're looking for price to trade sideways. Looking at the daily close here, we did have a quite nice bearish candle here. Again, this is the range that we are looking at. Based on the daily candle here, we would expect the price to pull back and then move lower. At this point, we'll just have to wait because the markets are closed. Even though the Forex market is always open, there's not much activity today because of the US bank holiday. Looking at the pound US dollar weekly chart here, we have seen two very small weekly candles. Again, this doesn't give us a lot of confidence as to the price moving to the either side. It's very narrow range that the British pound is trading in here between a 1.2330 to 125.80. So that's the range that we will be targeting for now till it breaks down. If the price breaks below 123.40 level here, then we're looking for the price to move to 121.50, this next level to the downside. However, if the price goes up and tests the 125.80 levels and breaks above that, the next level will be 127.20. Looking at the daily chart here, as we can see, the price hasn't moved very much over the last few days. So right now it does look like it's trending a little downwards, making lower highs here. So if it holds this trend line, then we'd be looking for a test of the low here at a 123.50 level approximately. And once that breaks down, this 40 level, once that breaks down, the next level we're looking at is a 121.50 to the downside. However, if it breaks above the high here, we are looking for price to potentially come back and test the high at 127.20. Dollar CAD weekly chart, again very range bound here. We haven't seen much of a move this week. The very small candle, it does look bullish here, though it closed with the pin to the downside. However, it is still in this range. So the bottom of the range here is a 130 and to the upside here is 132. So 200 pip range. So again, we'll be looking for price to break down depending based on the caught here, the commitment of traders data. We are bearish on dollar CAD because we did see that increase in the Canadian dollar longs. As a result, we could look for a break of 130 to the downside. If it does, we are looking at a 129.12 level here and even potentially lower into 128.50 level. So that's the target to the downside. If it breaks above 132, we are looking for 133.00 to the upside. Aussie US dollar, very neutral candle here for the last 2 weeks. We haven't seen much movement. We have been seeing the long positions build up in Australian dollar for quite some time, and we have seen this huge big moves to the upside, but now that seems to be running out of steam, so we need to watch out for that. If the price does stay above 176.00, we are likely to see another push upward. So at this point, we could see the price come down and test the 0.7600 level. if it holds, then we are looking for a price move to the upside, potentially into this high here at 77.80 level. New Zealand US dollar, again, a very neutral candle here. We have pins on both sides, the weekly candle. And in this respect here, again, we did see a buildup in the long positions based on COT. However, because it is a neutral candle, we could see a potential move to the downside. We are looking at 70.80 level here to the downside if this previous low breaks at 71.40 level. Or if it breaks to the upside, then we are looking for a potential test of the highs here at 73.80 level, this previous high. Looking at the daily chart here, we have seen a couple of negative closes here. However, price today is again very small range bound move here, so we'll be looking for price to come down to this 71.40 level, and if this holds, if the price stays above this, we can look for another move to the upside. Or if it breaks down below 71.40 level here, we're looking for a move to the downside at 70.80, and then potentially lower into even these levels down here at 69.80. So those are a couple of the levels we'll be watching for. That's it for now. I will see you next time.